What if you wanted to start a pro-ISIS club at an American Ivy League university?
There's a lot of our student organizations that do things like that.
Would the assistant dean of students have a problem with the humanitarian club sending care packages to terrorists?
Well, a big question that, and I think programs like that really do have a good place here at Cornell.
Maybe we could get like a freedom fighter to come and do like a training camp for students.
You'd be allowed to do something like that, just like bringing in a coach to do a training on a sports team or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
All right. That, of course, was from our friend James O'Keefe in Project Veritas. We had James on yesterday to talk about what you just saw, which was going in undercover to Cornell University, finding an assistant dean there and saying, hey, we want to bring in, freedom fighters, ISIS people, like you would a baseball coach, to coach people and to talk about, and just insane. And the guy's like, sure, come on in. Joining us now, once again, is William Jacobson, professor of law and director of the Securities Law Clinic at Cornell University Law School. Welcome back, sir. When you saw this, when you found out about this, what was your reaction?
My reaction was really a lot of disbelief that I just could not imagine that this assistant dean of students actually understood what he was saying. It's almost like he seemed very disconnected to me. It's just unimaginable that somebody would actually make a statement that, yes, come and welcome. And my initial feeling was that he probably didn't fully understand what he was being asked, that most people don't know that ISIS, the beheaders of ISIS, who we see on TV, actually stands for Islamic State in Iraq and Syria. So that was my initial reaction, was that this is somebody who maybe was a little too quick to answer prospective students' questions, but my feeling was that he could not possibly have understood it, because we are not, the sort of campus where I think that would be welcomed. So I really didn't know what to make of it, but apparently James said he has more video, so we'll see what he rolls out after this.
Yeah, I don't know necessarily that the video is going to be with Cornell or not, to be honest with you, but I do have an idea, kind of, sort of, maybe, but I don't think it may not involve Cornell. But so you, if you don't see any more video, you still because the president, of the university eventually trashed the messenger, trashed James O'Keefe and Project Veritas, and they edit tape, blah blah blah. I mean, he didn't say, look, my dean or my assistant dean had no idea what he was talking about. He completely misunderstood. He didn't say that, as far as I know, unless you know more. But he said, blah, 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 evil James O'Keefe.
Well, that is true that he did attack the messenger. I do believe his statement, his public statement, had a sentence in there saying he'd spoken to this assistant dean, and he's convinced that the assistant dean didn't fully comprehend what he was being asked. And I had asked James the same question, and James's response was, well, if this person doesn't know that, what business does he have being an assistant dean?
Right.
It's fairly common knowledge. So I don't really know what to make of it, only that it was very, very bizarre. And undercover detectives, undercover news people, that's where 60 Minutes made their name. So there's nothing, as long as there's no false editing, misleading editing, there's nothing wrong with undercover investigative journalism.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And have you gotten, obviously we approached you today because you're at Cornell. What about others who have approached you and say, what's the response been?
Well, I don't think there's been a huge campus response. There was student newspaper came out against James. So did one of the local papers. But I think people were maybe a little too quick. We don't know what the whole story is. We only know what we've been shown. I wouldn't say it's something that's preoccupying the campus. It also came out right before spring break. Students are leaving today for spring break, and I think a lot of them are probably more focused on that than they were on this video. I do think at an administrative level, at a public relations level, they're extremely concerned, because Cornell has had some problems on campus with anti-Israel students that made the news.
Right.
And so I'm sure at an administrative level, they're a lot more concerned than they probably are at a student level.
Gotcha. All right, Professor, always great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Great. Take care.
All right, folks. Don't go away, because coming up in this hour at 4:30 Eastern Time today, we're opening the phone lines up to you, our viewers, to discuss the ongoing nuclear negotiations with Iran and the reports that Obama and company are just caving and there could be a deal very soon. Here's what you do. You call us at 844-741-3100. Again, 844-741-3100. And you will have your voice heard, possibly. Up next, the director of Jihad Watch and New York Times bestselling author Robert Spencer joins us. Don't go away.